Good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank you all for coming on this beautiful Thursday morning. As you know, just 2 days away, the Canadian Aerospace Museum will be launching its 5th annual Wings and Wheels Heritage Festival. I'd like to introduce Ken Mist, who will inform you about what will be going on during the 2 days at the festival.
Thank you, Natasha. Wings and Wheels represents the efforts of more than 10 months by dedicated volunteers. We're grateful to have so many committed folks from our community lend their expertise in dozens of areas, all to coordinate this event. We have plenty to draw aviation and automobile enthusiasts alike, and of course we have fun for the whole family. This festival is truly unique to Toronto. Not only are we fortunate to have it take place in historic Downsview Park, home to the original de Havilland Aircraft Factory, but we also are able to commemorate significant milestones in our city's aviation history, with this year being no exception. Now I'd like to tell you about a few of the highlights. First off, on Saturday from noon till 2, Mr. Johnny Bauer, the China Wall legendary Maple Leafs goalie, will be on hand to sign autographs and meet his fans. Secondly, we will be honoring the Canadian soldiers who have bravely given their lives in Afghanistan with the drive-in of 146 assorted red vehicles. These vehicles, one for every fallen soldier, will drive down the Highway of Heroes from CFB Trenton into the festival on Saturday. Finally, we will be featuring many vintage automobiles and aircraft, ranging from a CB to an amphibicar, designed and built in Germany in the 1960s. And of course, we'll be displaying the museum's full-scale Avro Aero model, as well as the replica of the Silver Dart. With great weather predicted this weekend, we are a wonderful and exciting event. Thank you.
I'd like now to introduce Ken Shen, our local historian.
Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Ken. This year's festival takes place in an historic year. It was 100 years ago that the whole concept of aviation, air shows, air pageants came into being across the world. We call it the centenary of aviation festivals. Those early festivals provide an intimate opportunity for the public to see the early flying machines and to imagine what it would be like to fly, to see the world from above, and in future years choose a career in aviation. This year's festival, we have a lot of attractions celebrating early aviation. We have the Silver Dart replica, the very first aircraft to fly in Canada back in 1909. And the replica that recreated the first flight of 100 years ago is here at the show this weekend. 70 years ago, if you were to look in the newspapers, you would see the story of Dunkirk, the evacuation of the soldiers from France as Germany swept across Europe. At the time, Canada was at war, and here on the home front, there was a lot going on. Here at Downsview, they were building 5 aircraft a day for the training plan. Men and women were building Tiger Moths here at Downsview. Well, out at Malton, the very first wartime air training school opened, and young men who were fresh out of high school, 18, 19 years of age, were training to fight in the war. We just celebrated the 65th anniversary of VE Day, the end of the war in Europe, earlier this month in May. And in honor of our veterans, all Canadian military veterans are welcome to come to this year's festival for free. We'll have military aircraft from the Second World War on display, and we'll have some veterans of the war, such as our Avro Lancaster bomber that was in Europe back in 1945 and came home. Another remarkable thing happened 70 years ago, the first flight of a helicopter in North America. And in honor of that advancement in technology, we'll have helicopters flying in throughout the weekend. We'll also have helicopter rides. We'll have rides over the city of Toronto. In a sense, you can recreate that first flight over Toronto 100 years ago. And if you look in the papers today, you hear about conflict in Korea. Well, 60 years ago, the Korean War broke out, and we have one of those aircraft that was took part in the Korean War, a MiG-15 jet fighter, one of the oldest flying jets in the world. That's going to be here on display as well. We're also going to have modern aircraft, the latest in technology from Canada's aircraft factories here. We're going to have the Expedition 350, a brand new aircraft built in Perry Sound, a brand new aircraft built by Bombardier. In all, this is an opportunity for the public to come out, get up close to aircraft, look in cockpits, see classic cars and vehicles. You're free to wander the ramps. There's no restrictions, no fences. It's a rare opportunity in aviation today. So please come out. We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you all for coming, and we look forward to seeing you at the festival.
Yeah, maybe we get a few.
It was built specifically to recreate the original flight of the Silver Dart that occurred in February of 1909 on the 100th anniversary. And this airplane flew last February, or actually a year and a bit ago, and recreated that flight.
And what was the Silver Dart?
Well, the Silver Dart was the first aircraft to ever fly in Canada and the British Empire. It was built by Alexander Graham Bell and an association of his, of 5 gentlemen. And it was originally built in Hammondsport, New York, but brought up to Bedeck Bay during the winter to fly off the ice.
Thank you. Good.
Okay.